Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. We are just having a lovely, slow, quiet Sunday today. Rosie just laid down for her nap. Caleb is working on some things outside, and I thought I would cut out some fabric to make a dress, and not just any dress, but a vintage Laura Ashley dress. I'm so excited. So the pattern we're going to be using for this dress is McCall's 4546. So here it is. It's this beautiful ruffly dress. They have this view with all these ruffles at the skirt, the long dress without all the ruffles, and then a shorter dress with just the ruffles. So this is the view we're going to be making today. And I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I actually attempted to make the over-the-top ruffly version and just realized that it was way out of my skill set. I had a whole video filmed. I worked on this dress for months and I just could not get it right. I finished the actual construction of the dress, but the ruffles just were baffling me. And so I've decided to just try making this again with the simpler version, the shorter version, and I'm really excited to have this for this spring and summer. So the fabric we're going to be using, if you watch my last video, you will recognize this fabric, is this beautiful fabric from Joann's. It's like this very vintagey floral stripe pattern. It says it's tan, but I would say it's kind of like a tan green background, but I think it's just so pretty. I love the little florals, and I think the vintage vibe of the fabric will play well with the vintage vibe of the pattern. So I'm just going to get all of my pattern pieces laid out. We will cut the fabric and then we will start working on this dress. So here are all the pieces. We have the skirt front, skirt back and side, bodice front, bodice back, sleeve, facing, sleeve band. Then we have the skirt ruffle, the tie, and then the neck ruffle. So I'm just making myself some peppermint tea, and I thought I would tell you guys the error I have already made. So I'm sure any more seasoned sewists than me would probably realize the blunder that I already made, but typically when you lay a pattern piece on your fabric, it's over folded fabric so that when you cut it out, you get two pieces, less time cutting, it's a lot easier. Well, I have never really sewn with striped fabric before where it wasn't just rectangles. So when I was snipping the corners and taking off the pattern pieces off of my fabric, when I looked at the other side, I realized instead of the stripes going up, they were going down on the back side. So I had to recut several of the pieces. Unfortunately, I did not have enough fabric to cut out one of the back skirt pieces. So I am going to have to order more of that, but I was able to scrimp and maneuver my fabric around to where I could recut the other pieces that I needed to. So I'm just going to enjoy some tea. I don't know if I'm gonna really be able to sew any because the fabric took me almost 3 hours to cut. Longest time it's ever taken me to cut fabric, but at least it's cut out and that part is done, and I only have to recut one more piece of fabric. So I think for now I'm just going to enjoy my cup of tea, and then we will hopefully later on this afternoon or this evening start constructing the dress. I just love spring all of the flowers, the green grass, the sun shining. It's beautiful. I used to really not enjoy spring as a kid because where we live in the Midwest of the United States, the springtime usually means severe weather. So a lot of severe thunderstorms, tornado warnings. And so when I was younger, I really, really despised springtime. But now as I have gotten older, these past few years especially, I just love the spring, and all of my lilacs are in bloom. So you'll probably see a lot of lilac clips in the next couple of videos because sadly lilacs do not last very long in a vase or on the bush. So I just try to film and take pictures of them as much as I can before they are gone. But today is the first sewing day. We're actually able to sew today. I didn't get a chance to sew last night because Caleb and I were finishing a TV show we were watching. So the first couple things we're going to work on today is we're going to work on making the tie belt. So how this style is, you have the bodice, and then in the darts in the front of the bodice is where you attach a tie belt to kind of cinch in the waist a little bit more. Focus for today is making the ties, working on the front. And this pattern is so nice because it's literally one page of instructions. It's a beautiful thing. And it looks like we're mostly probably just going to work on the bodice, and I may try and work on the sleeves. We'll see how much we can get done, but I think the bodice takes a little bit of time to work on if I remember correctly. So that is going to be our plan. I also decided to wear my vintage Laura Ashley clothes because I figured it was really fitting. I love this blouse. It is a touch small. If I could find this on eBay or Etsy again in one size up, I probably would get it, but the details on this blouse are just so beautiful. I love it so much. See what I mean by it's just a little small. And then I don't know if you can see my skirt, but this is a kind of 90s vintage Laura Ashley skirt, and I just thought it would be very fitting to wear for this video. So I'm just going to get everything set up and we will start sewing. So I had to make some adjustments to my sewing machine because I forget that this fabric has elastane in it, so it tends to stretch a little bit. And some of my seams are just a little wonky, but we won't look too closely. So next what we have to do for the ties is actually put a little pleat at the end of them. I don't remember how big it is, but it will go at the end like that. And then what we will do is take the bodice front, which I already pinned the darts in. I didn't sew them in, thankfully, because I thought I was getting ahead of the game. Well, I forgot that these need to go sandwiched in between the darts before I sew them. So I want to make sure I line these up really well because the last time I made this dress, I did not, and the ties actually started coming out from the darts. So that is what we are going to do now. So here's a little update on the dress so far. I put the ties in nice and securely, made sure the stripes were going the correct way. And then while I was at it, I just sewed the darts in the back bodice pieces, and then I sewed the side seams and the shoulder seams together. And this fit super well. So let me tell you guys just a couple of things that I did to have this fit better than the first time I made this. So for reference, the pattern size I'm using, now this is vintage, so it does fit a little bit smaller, is a size 16, which is a bust 38. I am typically a size 10 to 12 in McCall's patterns. My bust is 32 to 34. So in order to get this to fit a little bit better, what I ended up doing was when I was cutting out the pieces, I turned in one of the seam allowances on both the bodice front and the bodice back pieces. And what I also did with these vintage Laura Ashley patterns, they actually come with two different versions of the bodice that you can cut out. So there is the standard McCall's bodice, and then there is the Laura Ashley bodice. So the Laura Ashley bodice is supposed to fit a little bit more tightly to your body, just a little bit smaller, more fitted. So I ended up doing the Laura Ashley bodice pieces, plus turning in the seam allowances on the bodice front and back pieces, and that seemed to work really well. So really happy about that. Next, I think what we're going to be doing is actually working on the facing. Yes, that's what we're going to be doing next. And then once that's done, most of the construction of the bodice is going to be done. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to finish the bodice today because I do need to set in a zipper, and I do not have a zipper for this yet, but that is okay. So we're really happy with my progress so far. I've been sewing for only about an hour and a half. So it's been going fairly quickly, but let's just work on this neck facing and at least get that done. And then Rose is probably going to be up after that. But I'm really just so pleased with how this is going. Went to Joann's this afternoon and I'll show you guys a couple things that I picked up. It's nothing exciting. Got my invisible zipper. And then this is the trim that I picked out, which if you've seen some of my previous videos where I've made lace trimmed things, this is the exact same trim, but it's really the only trim that I really like at Joann's. I don't know how it's going to look with this fabric since it is kind of a tan, but there is white flowers on it, so it might work. If I don't like it, then I just won't put it on the neck ruffle. But the plan for today is really just to work on the ruffles. That's all I can do while I'm waiting for the rest of the fabric to come in. So I'm just going to listen to some music. I think I'm going to listen to this new artist I found. She sings a song called Irish Eyes and her name is Rose Betts, and I really love her voice. So I think I'm just gonna put this on shuffle and then we'll work on the ruffles. I know you're impressed. taking a little break from sewing because today is actually Mother's Day, and I thought it would be really fun to take you guys along on our little morning adventure. We're going out to breakfast at my favorite place and going to a botanical park that we have gone to since Rose has been born. It's my favorite park around where we live, and I'm very, very excited. So I just have a couple things to pack up, and let's go get some breakfast. Hello, day 4, I believe, of working on this dress. Oh, hang on, let me let Charlie in. Anyway, day 4 of working on the dress. I think it's day 4. It's day 4 or 5. I don't even remember. Rose has been sick for several days, so it's been a little while since I've worked on this, so I am forgetting what day it is. But I made myself some chai tea with a little bit of cream. Very good, and the caffeine is much needed because since Rose has been sick, we've had a lot of restless and sleepless nights. But anyway, my fabric came in. I already have it washed and dried, and I actually already cut out the other piece for the skirt. So the goal today is to finish this dress. I don't think I'll probably do the reveal today because it is raining outside. But at least if we can get the skirt completely done, attached, ruffles on, I will be a happy camper. So I'm starting on this a little bit earlier than I usually do. Typically when Rose lays down, I finish some of my house chores and then I come up and sew. But I was able to get most of those done this morning. So starting a little bit earlier, giving us a little bit of extra time. So without further ado, let's work on the skirt. Of course, Churro has other plans. I need this, young sir. You're sitting right on the fabric that I need. Over here. Here's the dress so far. She's looking cute. I just have a couple of finishing touches to do and then the dress is done. We need to hem the dress, add the bottom ruffle, and then sew the neck ruffle on, and then she's gonna be ready to wear. So the next time I talk to you guys will be the reveal. I'm so excited. You guys, there is the dress and I love it so much. I am so pleased with how this entire project turned out. I love this pattern, I love the fabric, and I'm especially encouraged since it went so well this second time around making it. It's just my style in a dress. I love it so much. I don't really have many things to say about the dress in particular. The one thing I did not do was I decided to not put the ribbon on the neck ruffle. I may decide to do it later, but I thought the neck ruffle was enough, and I added the trim when you were technically only supposed to add the trim to the one view, and so I just didn't want it to be too much for this dress. I may end up adding it later, I'm not really sure, but on it, other than that, and the few tweaks I made to the pattern that I showed you guys, I made this dress exactly how it was printed, and I just love it. I really love the waist ties here at the bodice because I feel like it really gives your body a really nice shape, but it's still really comfortable. It's not tight by any means. And I really like how full the skirt is as well. It's definitely a little more full in the back, which I knew it was going to be, but if you just like move it around a little bit, it becomes full across the entire skirt. But yeah, I really don't have much to say about it other than I love it. It gives all of the Jane Austen vibes, hence the little Mr. Darcy bust cameo. Had to put him in this video somewhere. It's just so lovely. It's so comfortable and it's just mwah. But that being said, I think I am going to end the video here. If you guys did enjoy this video, please let me know in a comment down below. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Mwah.